After all that you've achieved at St Andrews in the Open and playing here, how much does it mean to you to be here competing in the 150th Open this week?
It means a lot. I mean, this is where it all began for me as an amateur. My first chance to play in the Open Championship was here. I never forget I played with Ernie Els and Peter Jacobs from the first 2 days, and yeah, a chance to play with some greats in practice rounds: Freddie, Raymond, Ollie. It was Langer. I mean, I had a great time as a young little kid, and they showed me the ropes of how to play this golf course and how many different options there were. And it was eye-opening that how this golf course can play as easily as it can be played, and also as difficult it can play, and just by the wind changing, and obviously then when the tide changes as well. So just being here, I think this is my 6th Open Championship here, I think. Yeah, just to have that experience and just to have the ability to build play here at the home of golf is always quite special, and then to have won it twice is even that much more special.
Okay, well, thank you. Well, we'll take questions. If you can raise your hand, we'll get a microphone to you. It's obviously a busy room. We'll start with where are we going here? We'll start with you at the front, please.
Hi, Tiger. Yeah. How are you feeling in terms of your body, and how close are you to this being kind of as good as it gets?
Well, my body certainly can get better, but realistically, not a whole lot. You know, it's been through a lot, and at 46, you don't quite heal as well as you do at 26. So yeah, it is what it is, you know, and just lucky enough to, in our sport, to be able to play as long as we are able to play, and you know, late into the 40s, and especially on links golf courses like this, you can contend into your 50s. You know, we saw Tom have it on his putter to win, you know, late in his 50s. So it can be done. It just takes a lot of knowledge and understanding how to play this type of golf, and you know, with the fairways being fast and firm, it allows, you know, players who are older to run the ball out there and have a chance.
Okay, next question, Ian, front left.
Tiger, just how different does it feel this time around, it being the 150th Open and with so much emphasis on history this week?
It really does. It feels more historic than it normally has, and it's hard to believe that, you know, because we are coming back to the home of golf, and it is history every time we get a chance to play here. But there's, you know, so much that's going on this week, you know, to be able to play, you know, yesterday with Lee Buck, and to hear him chatting the entire time over every shot as he's hitting the shot. And just to be able to have that type of experience. And tonight we're going to have our Champions Dinner, because we only do it here. And, you know, it's hard to believe it. It's been 150 years we played this tournament, and it's just incredible. The history behind it, the champions that have won here, and as I said, it's hard to believe it's more historic, but it really is. It does feel like that. This does feel like it's the biggest Open Championship we've ever had.
And just to follow up on that, obviously, as a two-time Open winner, Greg Norman wasn't invited to all that is going on at the moment. I just wonder what your reaction to that decision was, Tiger.
Well, the RNA and obviously had their opinions and their rulings and their decision. Greg has done some things that I don't think that's in the best interest, you know, of our game, and we're coming back to probably the most historic and traditional place in our sport, and I believe it was the right thing.
Yeah, Joy at the front, please.
Tiger, you've always said that this golf course is probably one of your most favorite golf courses.
It is my favorite. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Over the years and now when you're playing, does that still give you that kind of challenge given all the advances of the ball, the equipment, or is it posing some new challenges?
Yeah, they've linked it a few holes since I first played here in '95. And they linked it 8 this year. But yeah, I think every putt bunker's gone a little bit deeper. You know, I remember it's kind of funny when you look back at some of the old historic videos of the guys playing out of the road hole bunker. It really wasn't that deep. Now, I mean, you can't see the grandstands when you get in there. All you see is clear blue sky. So yes, even with the advancements in technology, this golf course still stands the test of time. I mean, it's still very difficult, and it's obviously weather dependent. If you get the winds like we did today, I mean, it's a hell of a test. I mean, yeah, what did we do on 10? I hit a 6-iron from 120 yards. It was blowing so hard, and so you just don't have opportunities to hit shots like that, you know, anywhere else. Then again, if you get a calm day on this golf course, you're going to see some players probably have 4 to 5 eagle putts. So it is weather dependent. The fairways are, I think, right now are faster than the greens. So it's funny when you hit some of the chip shots and some of the bump and runs. You have to allow more speed early and then play for breaks when it hit the green. But again, with the amount of slope that's on these greens, if they get them too fast, it's unplayable when the wind gets up. And we saw that when Louis won. Yeah, we had a wind out. So we don't want that to happen. And it's understandable why they're a little bit on the slower side.
Okay, Stephanie, front right, please.
Hi, Tiger. After your accident, did you ever think that it would ever be possible that you'd be back here playing in the Open Championship at the home of golf? And because of that, does it make this the most special one yet?
You know, I for the most part of my rehab was just I was hoping that I could walk again, you know, walk normal, and have a normal life and maybe play a little hit and giggle golf, you know, with my son or my friends at home. But lo and behold, I've played championship golf this year, and once I realized that I could possibly play at a high level, you know, my focus was to get back here at St. Andrews to play in this championship, being, as I said, it's the most historic one we've ever had. And I just didn't want to miss this Open, you know, here at the home of golf. This has meant so much to me. This is where I completed the career Grand Slam. At the time, I had the record and scoring in all 4 major championships. So it meant a lot to me. And this venue has meant a lot. I remember coming around here, my very first practice round, I couldn't believe how like stupidly hard this place is, because I played every hole into the wind. I happened to have the tide change, and I played every hole in the wind. I'm like, where do you drive some of these par 4s? And this is not what people say it is. And all of a sudden it changes, and next thing you know, you say, okay, these bunkers are now in play. I said, well, it's amazing the ingenuity that they had then, that this golf course has stood the test of time to the best players, and as long as we've gotten collectively as a field, this golf course is still a challenge.
Okay, Jeff at the front, please.
Tiger, you've played a lot of practice this week. What have you learned anything new about the golf course, and is there anything in particular you're trying to get dialed in out there?
I'm just trying to get used to the speed of the fairways, and getting used to hitting the ball down, and also giving more wide berth on shots, allowing for more drift on the wind. The wind the ball just gets eaten up here. With, you know, when you play on links courses and seaside courses, the air is heavier, and you just got to give it more room. And sometimes it's just hard to see that and hard to understand. You got to give it a little 30 more yards, and because obviously it's gonna bounce, it's gonna roll, and then it's gonna roll out another 40 yards once it lands, and that's just with a 7-iron in your hand, you know. So trying to get my mind right for that. I've been trying to do that, but the only way you can truly do it actually is to get out here and experience it. And today was good. It was good to play in this much wind. because I know the forecast isn't for this much wind for the rest of the week, but it was good to get my mind opened up for these type of golf shots that potentially I'm going to have to play.
Okay, Mark at the front, please.
Tiger, there's been a lot of photos on the bridge yesterday with the gang and today with Erica and whatnot. Has it felt at all different because of where you've come from and because of the fact that we may not be here for another however many years when you go over that bridge? And secondly, what do you think your anticipation is of how you'll feel when you do walk over it for the last time on Sunday, for the week?
When I have a photo in my office when I first played my first practice round, and I have that in my office, me sitting there, and it means a lot. I mean, the history and then the people that have walked over that bridge, and I tell you what, I mean, honestly, now I got to be a little more careful with spikes on that bridge. I don't quite have the agility that I used to. Almost ate it today. So yesterday to have, Lee and Rory and Jack, I mean, just stand there with them. I mean that's history right there. Those guys are. I watched them play this Open Championship, waking up. Telecast would come out at 5 a.m. on the West Coast. Be a chance to watch them play and to see them hit the shots and listen to Lee Buck talking about the small ball, playing over here and what he used to do with it, and these are things that. And then tonight we're going to have these opportunities to talk about things like that, and that's what makes it so special. And everyone has seemed to have made their farewell there. I got a chance to watch Arnold do it. I watched Arnold hit his first tee shot on the second day in '95, and that was quite special. I was going on the range and just happened to time it up, and I seen you hear, on the tee, Ivor, I think he was announcing at the time from USA, Arnold Palmer, and he gets up there and gives it the big old waggle and hits it right down the middle fairway, and his head's bobbing all over the place. So. And seeing that, and I played probably about 4-5 holes behind Jack and Tom when Jack retired in '05, and hear the roars get louder and louder and louder as we came towards the finish, and you could hear the fans and the ovations that Jack got coming up 18 for the last time, and then the roar. Because obviously he made the putt. I mean, he wasn't going to miss that putt. And we were talking about that yesterday. And he claims he's never missed a putt. And I said, well, yeah, that he can recall. So it's great to be a part of this Open Championship. As I said, it feels more historic, and I'm looking forward to the challenge. Yeah, who knows? I don't know if it is that long, whether or not I will be able to physically compete, at this level by then. It's also one of the reasons why I wanted to play in this championship. I don't know what my career is going to be like. As I told you, I'm not going to play a full schedule ever again. My body won't allow me to do that. So. I don't know how many Open Championships I have left here at St. Andrews, but I wanted this one. It started here for me in '95, and if it ends here in '22, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. If I get the chance to play one more, it'd be great. But there's no guarantee.
Okay, next question back left. Is it Ewan?
Tiger, if I may, just come back to what you said about Greg. Mm-hmm. You said in your belief he has done things that are not in the best interest of the game. Can I just ask what you mean by that? What falls under that criteria to you?
Well, I know that what PGA Tour stands for and what we have done and what the tour has given us the ability to chase after our careers and to earn what we get. and the trophies that we have been able to play for, and the history that has been a part of this game. I know Greg tried to do this, back in the early '90s. It didn't work then, and he's trying to make it work now. And I still don't see how that's in the best interest of the game. What the European Tour and what the PGA Tour stands for and what they've done, and also all the professional, all the governing bodies, of the game of golf and all the major championships, how they run it. I think they see it differently than what Greg sees it.
Okay, our next question, Michael, just in the right here.
Thanks.
Center. No, Michael. Yeah.
Thanks so much. Tiger, it's been such a weird time in professional golf. I'm wondering if you're optimistic about the future of the game.
Oh, yeah, I am. I'm very optimistic. We're in the greatest golf boom ever, right now because of COVID. I mean, it's hard to, it's allowed us as a sport to get outside and be outside and to participate and do some physical activity and get out of the house and still not worry about COVID. And so because of that, golf has been on an incline and a boost that we've never seen before. And I hope it continues that way. And there's so many new young golfers that are coming up. I mean, you just look at the tour. The average age is getting younger and younger, and they're just getting better, earlier and faster, and they're winning at earlier ages. I was always told that you don't peak until your late 20s, early 30s, but you're seeing guys win championships in early 20s now, and doing it consistently. So the game has gotten better, and it's only going to continue to get that way. And I hope that we all understand that and continue the growth of the game in a positive way.
Okay, Bob.
Tiger, your run up here this week has been pretty ambitious, certainly compared to the first two majors. What was your strategy coming in, and also what's the balance that you have to maintain in terms of overdoing it or not preparing enough?
Well, the difference is I came here Saturday and I didn't hit any balls. I just chipped and putted and walked. So there really was no stress there. It was just trying to get a feel. And JT and I went out there after dinner, and that's one of the neat things about coming here. I've stayed at the Old Course Hotel, and I've gone out and putted a lot at 9 o'clock at night. I just go out to one of the greens and I just putt. And it's neat to experience that and to go out there with GT. He's like my little brother, and we just went out there and just had a great time. And then Sunday I played 18. Yesterday I played 9. Today I played 9. And so that was going to be it for me. And I'll take tomorrow off. I'll practice, keep my feels. But I want to get a good sense of how the golf course is going to be playing, but also conserve my energy. So that's why I'm taking tomorrow off.
Okay, next question, just the back here, please. Yes.
Me?
Yeah.
Hi, Tiger. A two-parter from me, if I may. Firstly, one on a personal level. I remember writing a story about you some years ago at an Open where you'd moved into your accommodation, and I think the only demand you'd made was for a plank of wood to go in your bed to help your back.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, with everything that's gone on since then, whether there's anything else you're having to do these days, because obviously the rest times to get you up and ready to get out on the course must be quite sophisticated now, perhaps. And secondly, just following on from the LIV and the Greg story, just what do you think, what's your perception that the guys who are being tempted to go over and play for the LIV, have you got a message for them, or what do you think of those guys who are being tempted?
Okay, that's a lot of questions. Okay. First one, right? Plank of wood, right? Okay. Yes, I prefer sleeping on firm mattresses for my back. Only difference is I just ask for a lot more ice now. Okay, so as far as the second part of your question about the players who have chosen to go to LIV and to play on to play there, I disagree with it. I think that what they've done is they've turned their back on what has allowed them to get to this position. Some players have never got a chance to even experience it. They've gone right from the amateur ranks right into that organization, and never really get a chance to play out here and what it feels like to play a tour schedule or to play in some big events. And who knows what's going to happen in the near future with world ranking points, the criteria for entering major championships. The governing body's going to have to figure that out, and some of these players may not ever get a chance to play major championships, and that is a possibility. We don't know that for sure yet. It's up to all the major championship bodies to make that determination, but that is a possibility. That some players will never ever get a chance to play in a major championship, never get a chance to experience this right here. Walk down the fairways at Augusta National. I mean, that to me, I just don't understand it. I understand what Jack and Arnold did, because playing professional golf at a tour level versus a club pro is different. And I understand that transition and that move and the recognition that a touring pro versus a club pro is. But what these players are doing for guaranteed money, what is the incentive to practice? What is the incentive to go out there and earn it in the dirt? You're just getting paid a lot of money up front and playing a few events and playing 54 holes. They're trying to, playing blaring music and have all these atmospheres that are different. I just don't see how 54 holes. I can understand 54 holes is almost like a mandate when you get to the senior tours. The guys are a little bit older and a little more banged up. But when you're at a young age, and some of these kids, there really are kids, who have gone from amateur golf into that organization. 72-hole tests, are part of it. I mean, we used to have 36-hole playoffs for major championships. That's how it used to be. 18-hole U.S. Open playoffs. That's. I just don't see how that move is positive in the long term for a lot of these players, and especially if the LIV organization doesn't get world ranking points and they don't, and the major championships change their criteria for entering the events. It'd be sad to see some of these young kids never get a chance to experience it and experience what we've got a chance to experience. And walk these hollow grounds and play in these championships.
Okay, we've only got time for maybe 2 more questions. We'll take one at the back right, and then Doug here at the front.
Tiger, you've said throughout this comeback that golf is not the hard part, it's walking. And obviously, Augusta's a super tough walk, and you struggled physically at Southern Hills. How are you finding your body responding to this walk compared to those two?
It's still not easy. Granted, the inclines are not steep in any way, and the declines are not steep, but it's the unevenness, that is still, it's still difficult on me. I have a lot of hardware in my leg, so it is what it is. It's going to be difficult. Yes, the walk is certainly a lot easier than those 2 championships that I played in before this year. I'm able to walk a lot more holes, but also then again, I've gotten a lot stronger since then. It's been more time that I got a chance to work in the weight room and get stronger and get the endurance better in my leg. Playing Augusta, I didn't know. My leg was not in any condition to play 72 holes. It just ran out of gas, and. But now it's different now. It's got a lot stronger, a lot better, and hopefully it'll continue to get that way. But again, as I said, having a lot of hardware in there makes it a little bit of a challenge.
Okay, Doug.
Tiger, understanding your physical state and, as you say, the very limited schedule going forward, what have you learned this year about the challenge of playing so little in terms of sharpness, in terms of tour golf, playing month off, playing again? What's been the biggest challenge?
Well, the biggest challenge is I'm not I'm not playing tournament golf to get tournament ready for the majors. I'm not hitting shots in tournaments to know what works and what doesn't work. I've had to do that at home. And yes, I can do that. I can do that at home to a certain extent, but it certainly is a lot better when I'm able to play tournament golf to feel tournament hardened coming into these big events. But that's no longer my future. I'm not going to be able to do that again. So this is what my future is: a very limited schedule, and I'm going to have to somehow figure out a way to practice at home efficiently and come to these events maybe just a little bit earlier and get more looks and try to get a better feel for it and really trust what I'm doing, because I hadn't proven it to myself in any other tournaments prior to this. But hey, just the fact that I was able to play Augusta when I just started weight bearing 6 weeks prior to the event, and that to me was quite an accomplishment. And then Tulsa was another accomplishment. So this whole year has been something that I'm very proud of, that I'm able to have gotten to this point with my team, to get here to where I've been able to play in these tournaments when it looked like I would never have this opportunity ever again.
Okay, I'm sorry, we are going to have to make this the final question. Louine on the right, and we will have to wrap up there.
Tiger, the history of the game has always been a very important part of your golfing development, I feel, because you've always appreciated it. Do you think that young kids who are planning to be the next Tiger on the golf course take this into account, or are they just too much all about golf?
In what way? I'm sorry, I'm not trying
The
to
fact
understand.
that you love the history of the
Yeah.
game, and the modern kid probably couldn't tell you the first thing about who won what before
Right.
Tiger.
Well, I think it's different. I guess nowadays you can just look it up on your phone, and you don't have to go to the library and try and figure out who won what. You can just look it up on your phone, and the world has changed dramatically. The history of the game is certainly something that I've taken to heart. I think it's a very important part of understanding the development of our game, where we've come from. Especially for me, for a person who's had to struggle at times for admittance into clubhouses or onto golf courses. So I understand it from a different historical side too, as well. But also you have to appreciate everything about this game, how it's developed, and the people who have paved the way to allow us to play in these events, who created the energy behind it. I mean, the first time golf was ever on TV was Arnold Palmer making a birdie finish to win. What he did for our sport, TV-wise, was incredible. And then I came along right when the internet hit, and so that took it to another level. These kids are dealing with so much information at a younger age, and I hope they do appreciate it, and I do hope they do understand it. There are so many great champions that, like yesterday, for instance, that were out there, that I hope a lot of some of these kids were watching at home, got a chance to appreciate that, to see them playing out there. I mean, saw Bob Charles out there on 18 hitting. I think we won in 63 or something like that. So to be able to see that in person, I mean, live, God, it was just so special. And I just hope the kids appreciate that.
Does your son appreciate the
He
past?
does. He does. He understands the history of the game. because I make it important to understand where this game has come from, and also his heritage, where he's come from. He's come from a very mixed background, and so just understanding where you come from, understanding this game, how hard I had to work to get to where I was at. I had to earn it every step of the way. Nothing's ever given to you. You got to go out there and earn it, and I earned it through the dirt, and I'm very proud of that.
Tiger, we appreciate you being here and taking the time. Thank you. Best of luck
Absolutely.
this week.
Thank you. Appreciate it.